any money you don't have the wisdom to make, you will not have the wisdom to manage. You don't make money by betting or gambling. CBEX. When you understand what to do in every season, you will win in every season. Now, when it comes to making, managing, and multiplying money, the journey to wealth is just these 3 steps. Number 1, you have to make money. You can't become rich and wealthy without making money. So everyone needs to make money. But you see, making money is one thing, but it's the ability to manage the money that determines whether you'll be able to multiply the money. So I want to deal with wealth cycles, and then I want to talk about how to make, manage, and multiply money, and then zero into how to make, manage, and multiply money using real estate. So we're going to look at wealth cycle, we'll look at MMM, and then we'll look at the MMM in real estate, which is the real MMM. This one is not CBEX. Okay, so now, for many people, if you are very, very observant, you realize that in life, you don't always have everything working well every time. You realize that sometimes in life, you are sometimes in a season where it seems as if everything is just working. Money is flowing, every deal you do. Then at another point, it's as if everything you do goes wrong and you are wondering, is it village people? Now, what you need to understand is that there's what is called wealth cycle. Now, wealth cycle is very important for you to understand, because in life is not a straight line. Every time you look at the financial graph of any organization, it will always be undulating. Why? Because life is not a straight line. Every time you see a straight line, then there's a flat line, it means that something is dead. So when people are in the hospital and they are hooked up to a machine, you see the graph going. The very minute it goes and it becomes flat, it means that they are flatlined, they have died. So life is not a straight line. There is always that undulating. But when you look at the undulation, you find that it still continues to grow like a mountain to the top. So in the world that we live in, we need to understand that there will always be seasons of plenty and seasons of famine. As a matter of fact, the Creator helped us to understand that in the good book called the Bible, when the king called Pharaoh had a dream. And in the dream, he was able to see 7 fat cows and 7 lean cows. And he saw how that the 7 lean cows swallowed the 7 fat cows. And he saw how the wheat, and he saw the dream in 2 dimensions. And then when the interpretation was to come, Joseph, one of the kingdom vessels that was positioned at that point in history, helped the king to realize that, number 1, that particular dream that he was having was not just a dream about him or his kingdom, but it was a dream that has to do with a revelation for the entire world. Number 2, he made him to understand that the reason why he had the dream twice was because it was an established fact and an established principle that will govern the entire world for eternity. And he made him to understand that as long as this earth remains, there will be seasons of plenty and seasons of famine. And he called it 7 years of plenty and 7 years of famine. Now, if you sit down and study history, you will realize that the same thing happens all over the universe. It may not be 7 years because of time zones, but you realize that, let's say from 2000. For the last 25 years, just look back at Nigeria alone for the last 25 years. You realize that when we entered the year 2000, you realize that there was a move. We are 7 years of plenty. And then by 2007, we had the crisis that came, and then you just keep seeing plenty, famine, plenty, famine. That's the same way it works, and the same way it works in the life of individuals. But one thing you realize is that when you understand what to do in every season, you will win in every season. Because what was done is the fact that a wisdom was deployed. It was called the wisdom of savings and compound interest. And the same man, Joseph, told the king, he said, look, in the season of plenty, save 20% of everything that you have. When you save 20% of everything that you have in the season of plenty, what you save today will save you tomorrow. So the concept of savings was revealed as one of the principles for handling the wealth cycles. And he said that when you do that, when the season of famine comes, what you have saved in the season of plenty will rescue you in the season of famine. And you find that what they saved in 7 years was compounded. That by the time the 7 years of famine came, it did not just deliver the geographical Egypt. The entire known world came to be rescued because compound interest went to work. And that's what we call the 8 wonders of the world, compound interest. When you understand the power of compounding, at a point it will seem as if you are a money doubler or you are doing ritual when it begins to multiply. So wealth cycles are real. If you study agriculture, you find out that there's what we call bush fallowing. In a Greek, bush fallowing is a concept in agriculture where when a particular portion of land has been used for planting over a period of time, then that particular portion of land is now left fallow for 3 to 4 years, so that you can regather nutrients, so that by the time you go into the next planting season on that portion of land, it will produce maximally. And that's the way the world works. So when you see these cycles of wealth, seasons of plenty, seasons of famine, it's because new sets of millionaires and billionaires need to emerge from time to time. So from seasons to seasons, there will always be problems that people that are existing cannot solve, and a new breed of people will rise to solve that problem and rise to the top. Now, when it comes to making, managing, and multiplying money, the journey to wealth is just these 3 steps. Number 1, you have to make money. You can't become rich and wealthy without making money. So everyone needs to make money. But you see, making money is one thing, but it's the ability to manage the money that determines whether you'll be able to multiply the money. So you make money. Can I have? Is there a flip chart? Okay. Let me have that. Let's look at let's. So you make money, and then you manage money. Okay. So make, manage, multiply. So wealth creation begins with making money. So you make money. When you now make money, you manage your money. When you manage it well, then you're able to multiply. So let's start from making. Now, when it comes to making money, there are many people in the world today that want to make money, but they are not able to make money the right way. Because when we talk about making money, there are 5 ways that are the wrong ways of making money. But there is only one way of making money. So number 1, you don't make money by cheating or by fraud or by stealing. So some people are making money, but they are making it by cheating, by fraud, or by stealing. And you find out that wealth gotten by vanity will diminish. So we have a lot of people that have stolen money through corruption and through all kinds of stuff. And today we know their story. Number 2, you don't make money by begging or borrowing. Don't make money by begging or borrowing. Now, there are people that the only thing they do right now is to beg. Now, after COVID or during COVID, urgent 2K became a part of our vocabulary. And then yet it's like, can I say my account number? Okay, your boys are loyal. We are here. So people have turned begging into a career. There are sophisticated ways of begging now. So begging and borrowing. There are people that are very good at borrowing. They will borrow. And guess what? They will borrow from somebody to pay the one they are borrowed from somebody else. Just today, I was dealing with I did not hear about CBEX. I didn't know anything. I didn't know there was anything called CBEX until the bubble burst. And I was surprised that people are still in that level of foolishness. And then just 2 days ago in Port Harcourt, I just came back from Port Harcourt yesterday, as we're discussing, one of my guys now says, I want to confess that I did CBEX. So I said, you did CBEX. How much is it? 2.5. I said, you put 2.5 in CBEX. I said, how can you be foolish in the house of wisdom? I should sack you now because you are a disgrace to my grace. You are a disgrace to my grace. He says, not only me, now did Ofofo about all the other people that did CBEX. So I had to address it in the service because it is a high level of foolishness. But guess what? Where am I going to? One of the people that is also a major person, he told me that the person also did CBEX and the person was crying bitterly. They have to be consoling her. So she came and said, hey, they say you did CBEX, you were crying. He said, daddy, in fact, when you were talking, I know I'm a disgrace to you. Just have mercy on me. He said, just confess that I borrowed 1 million to do CBEX. True life story. So you don't make money by begging or borrowing. So she put 1 million in CBEX, but it was borrowed money. It was borrowed money. So number 1, you don't make money by what? By cheating, by fraud, by stealing. You don't make money by begging. You don't make money by betting or gambling. CBEX. So you don't make money by betting or gambling. That's not the way to make money. Number 4, you don't make money by marriage. Because we have a lot of useless women in our generation today and useless men. What are you bringing to the table? I am the table. Any man that wants to marry me must pay my transport. Is that how daft you are? You don't even have transport to transport yourself to a place. So even if they want to rape you, you will stay there because there's no transportation. It just shows how daft some people are. You must have a car. You must have this. Why don't you have a car? What your father, mother combined couldn't give to you, you want another human being to come and give to you. And then we have a lot of guys like that. They are looking for girls from rich family. They are looking for people that have money. So listen to me. Wealth is not sexually transmitted. If you are married to a rich man, you are a poor woman married to a rich man. You are not a rich woman. And then you don't make money by inheritance. You don't make money by inheritance. So waiting for inheritance for you to be able to make money is an error. Because you find out that many of the people that win lottery, or many of the people that wait for their father or mother to die so that they can inherit them, they end up losing the money, because any money you don't have the wisdom to make, you will not have the wisdom to manage. Any money you don't have the wisdom to make, you will not have the wisdom to manage it. So if these are 5 ways not to make money, how then do you make money? You make money by working. That's the only way to make money. By working. You are either working for yourself or you are working for others. So the only way to make money is by working. You make money by working. And you are either working for yourself or you are working for others. Because when it comes to wealth creation, there are 3 portals of wealth creation. 3. The career portal, the entrepreneurship portal, and the investment portal. So you are either a career person or an entrepreneur or an investor. So you make money by working. That's how you make money. Now, once you have made the money, you realize that it is not how much you make that matters. It is what you do with what you make that matters. There are people that make 800,000 every month and they are landlords and they have investment. And there are people that make 3 million every month and they are suffering. Why? Because even though they are making more money, they are financially illiterate and they are financially indisciplined. And once your expenditure is greater than your income, your upkeep will become your downfall. So, you make money by working. But now, once you make the money, you then need to know how to manage the money. Financial management is where a lot of people make mistakes. That's why we separate between the boys and the men. That's where the issue of discipline comes in. Why? Because there are many people that have made so much money in their lifetime, but they have not been able to tie any of the money they have made into something that can continue to sustain them. So you make money by working, you manage money by budgeting. So budgeting is a financial management mechanism that helps you to be able to manage your income and your expenditure in such a way that it helps you to achieve your financial goal. So while somebody else is waiting to say, I don't have enough money, somebody else is managing their money by leveraging collaboration. So you may say, I'm just going to wait for when I have money like this, I'll just buy a house in Gagada. I'll just buy a house in Oba. I'll just buy a house in the Kenya. I'll just buy a Omole. I'll just buy a lake. That's what you were saying 12 years ago. You are still here. But guess what? If that 12 years ago, you could not afford to buy at 50 million, but you put 5 million into a collaboration, you'll be a co-owner. So somebody else may not be making as much as you are making, but they are achieving more because they understand what they need to understand and they are effectively budgeted. So every time you make money, all the money you make does not belong to you. Money is tripartite. It's a spirit. It has a soul. It lives in the body. Money has a past. Money has a present. Money has a future. So every time money comes into your hand, a portion of that money belongs to your past to take care of the bills that you have already incurred. A portion of that money belongs to your present to take care of your ongoing obligation. A portion of that money belongs to your future. It's called savings and investments. So if you eat up every money that comes into your hand, you're already eating your future. So when you understand budgeting, that is where saving comes in. You know money, because when you are managing your money well, you will save. You will delay gratification. Now, the third thing, which is where we are now going to begin to branch, is so you multiply money by investing. You multiply money by what? By investing. Now, savings is not an investment. Savings is not an investment. But savings is required for investment. You save so that you can invest. So when you save money, you invest the money. So the only way to multiply money is by investing. You invest in cash flow producing assets and income generating vehicles. So you invest in cash flow producing assets and income generating vehicles. So if you are going to become wealthy, you can only multiply your money by investing. Now, let us now zero into real estate. So to multiply money, what do? You multiply by investments. That's the only way to multiply money. There are different kinds of investments, but investments will only do two things. So we pull it into two now. So assets, vehicles. So in order to build wealth and multiply money, you do it by investment. But investment means every money that is coming, you are using it to acquire assets. What does that asset do? Number one, it appreciates in value. Number two, it produces cash flow. Six. So to multiply your money, you do what? You invest it. You invest into assets. Now, there are two things that an asset will do. One, it will appreciate in value. Two, it will produce cash flow. So you now need to understand the asset type that you are investing into. Because there are some assets that when you invest into it, it will appreciate in value, but it's not producing cash flow. Hello? If you buy gold now, gold will continue to appreciate in value, but it's not bringing money to your pocket. If you buy land, it will continue to appreciate in value, but it's not bringing money. Hello? So you need to understand that, so that instead of you just investing in assets that are appreciating, you should be investing in cash flow producing assets. But the second thing is you are investing into a vehicle that produces return or cash flow. So there are people that have their money in stocks, they have their money in bonds, they have their money in fixed deposit, they have their money in commercial paper, they have their money in treasury bills, they have their money in mutual funds. What have they done? They have invested the money into vehicles that may not necessarily be appreciating in value, but it's bringing return and bringing cash flow. And then under vehicles, you can also invest in businesses and become a co-owner of a business, so that instead of you just wait to start your own business, you can be a part owner of a business, which is another opportunity that is being offered to you right now. Now, oh, are you ready for this? My friend Paul Wanebe shared with us one of the greatest mistakes that he made when he was working with the organization he was working with in the UK. The company wanted to be a global company, so they told all of them that they're going to bring people from every continent. So they employed 7 people from the 7 continents, and he was the one representing Africa. And the man sat them down and said, you know what, guys, I don't have salary to pay you, but I want us to build this business together. And you are going to get 5% of this business. So the 7 of you will be 35% owners of this business, and I will own the remaining. But together we will labor, no salary for anybody. But if you don't want that 5%, then I'll start paying you salary. So any one of you that want to do 5%, let me know if you want to. He say, at that point, he was a young man. He was just getting married. He was struggling. He needed money. He said, Oga, who 5% help? He said, so he collected salary. Guess what? 2 years later, that 5% was 70 million per person. Yeah, he told us by himself. 70 million pounds per person. 5%. He said he collected salary, so he walked away with 0. Yeah, he was the one that went to present the 70 million check to all the people, to his colleagues. Say, take. Hello? So now, when you hear Flutter Wave, are you a part owner? When you hear Paystack, are you a part owner? So there are many companies. Zoom, when Zoom went public in 2019, March, April 2019, nobody took them serious. 1 year later, they entered under financial stratosphere. I hope you know that Mark Zuckerberg does not own up to 30% of Facebook. I hope you know that Jeff Bezos does not own up to 30% of Amazon. So many of these companies you see, the name you are seeing is the name of the founder, but there are other people that own it. When they are telling you now, bring 50 million to come and own one business, I get 50 million, okay, me not better tell me. 50 million, hey, I can start my own, I will own it 100%. Listen to me, it is better to have 5% of a billion than 100% of 1,000. So many times we don't realize what we are doing. So I'm standing before you right now. I'm a part owner of many companies. And guess what? What we experience as angel investors is that many of the things you put money into will not work. But when one click, it's called master breakthrough. When one click, it can cover for all the losses. So when we are talking about investment, you can now begin to consider businesses. So when I the world, I talk to them about real estate and franchising. Real estate and franchising. Because it's easier for you to buy into an existing business, buy into a model that has worked, buy into a brand, and begin to enjoy the labor of other people than to try to start your own. Lalukmo and Sons, Ichendu and Sons, Ikechuku and Sons, and the sons are not interested. Now you have labored, you have built the law firm, the sons are not interested. Now you have the hotel, the hospital, they are not coming. You have the bakery and the printing press, they are not coming. You have sent them abroad, they have decided not to return. You are now confused and frustrated. So, investment. Now, real estate. So we're now zeroing into now. So real estate is the only real investment. So if you are thinking of handling these cycles that will continue to come, real estate will help you. Because no matter the cycle, once you have, think of it now, just think of it. Think of you owning real estate and getting rent of maybe $1 billion a month or $5 billion a year. Hello? Just think of it. Think of it. Think of it very well. Think of it. That every year, like Belaiso, without doing anything, just by virtue of the assets you have, you are doing $1 billion every year. Hello? Now, let's start from Nigeria before I even take you to dollars. Imagine that for the past 15 years or for the past 20 years, you have either been owning one property per annum or co-owning one property per annum. Own or co-own. So that means if in 20 years, all you can provide with your savings and everything every year, you can raise 10 million. That's all you can raise every year. By virtue of, let me save. You save your wife, you just do everything. Every year you just, okay, I'll be looking for 10 million. So if all you can do in a year is 10 million, for 20 years, all you need to do is to look for a house of 10 million every year. So by the time you started 20 years ago, 10 million could probably buy you a flat in Surulere or a flat in a highbrow area. Do you understand now? So by the time you get to the next year, 10 million will not buy the Surulere again. You now move to another location. So you keep moving like that. By 2025, that same 10 million may now buy you maybe a flat in Songo. But what it still means is that in 20 years, you have how many properties? 20 properties. So imagine now that those 20 properties, the one you bought in a eyebrow area is now giving you a rent of 15 million per annum. Some are giving you 10. Another one giving you 8. Maybe the one in Songo is giving you 1 million per annum. Put everything together. Imagine how much you'll be making. Let's now say, oh, I don't want to do that. Imagine now that for that 10 million, instead of you going from village to village to village to village to village, you now plug into an opportunity like what is being offered to you now. And you now say, okay, every year I'll be doing fractional ownership. So that means in the last 20 years, you'll be a part owner of properties all over. Now let's flip it to dollars. Imagine that every year all you can do is $10,000. And with $10,000, you join other people to own one house in America every year. And in 20 years, you co-own 20 properties. And you are getting dollars every month. Think of how much dollar was 20 years ago and how much dollar is now. So real estate is very, very important. So if you now want to make, manage, and multiply money through real estate, some basic things you need to know about real estate. Number one, it is the only real investment. Businesses can go bankrupt. Stock market can crash. Real estate stands gidigba. Even if there is tsunami, we'll set the land with water and they will refill it. Real estate is so powerful because they have stopped producing it. When the world was created, there were only 2 people on earth. Today, over 8 billion people, same size of land. And guess what? When you really study real estate and you study the world, you will realize that over 80% of the earth is water. So it's actually less than 20% of the earth's land mass that all of us are scrambling for. So by the time they reclaim it in one place, tsunami will return it to status quo in another place. Because there are oceans that will remain till Jesus comes. Hello? So it means that when you go into real estate, you are entering a realm that is too much to handle. In real estate, it's called the Trinity. Because when you go into real estate, everything under the ground is your own. The ground itself is your own. Whatever is put on top is your own. Real estate is omnipotent, it's all powerful. Real estate is omniscient, it's all knowing. Real estate is omnipresent, it's everywhere at the same time. Go to anywhere in the world, when you come out of the plane, you meet real estate there. Hello? When you were born, guess what? It's real estate. You were created from the dust of the earth. When you die, real estate, you return. So you are a mobile real estate. How many of you are residents in the hotel? You are residents in the hotel. When you go up today now, when you go up, shower. Make the bed, shower, and go to the bed naked. When you wake up tomorrow morning, you will see sand on your bed. Because every day you die daily. The real estate in you is coming out every day. Every day. So you are a mobile real estate. Hello? Why do you think somebody is called a Lord? There are only 3 people called Lord. Jesus is Lord, the judge is Lord, the landlord is Lord. If you don't own a portion of the earth, you are not a Lord, you are being lorded over. Hello? So as long as you are a tenant, you are an idolater. It's called the idolatry of tenancy. Because you are not a Lord. Hello? So when we talk about the promise, it's promised land, the land of the Evite. The land is a land. The promise of a land. And guess what? Every business on earth is a real estate business. Hospitality care. It's real estate. It's hotel, not real estate. Event center, real estate. So no. I'm a medical doctor. Is the hospital not real estate? I'm a pharmacist. The pharmacy not real estate. Oh no. I'm into education. Is the school not real estate? Is the hostel not real estate? Is no? I'm into restaurants. I just do food. Is the market not real estate? Is the restaurant not real estate? So no. I'm into politics and governance. Is the parliament house not real estate? Is Aso Rock not real estate? Is the secretariat not real estate? So no, I'm a man of God. Is the church not real estate? So no, I'm into IT. Where is your server? Where is your tank farm? Is it not on real estate? Hello? How do you connect to the cloud without the ground? You say, no, I'm into transportation. Is the airport not real estate? Is the road not real estate? Is the seaport not real estate? So every business on earth is a real estate business. If you are not in real estate, you are not in business. Hello? So you want to really make money, you want to manage money, you want to multiply money, then go into real estate. Then there are dimensions to real estate. Dimensions to real estate. Some people are in real estate, all they do is land. Some are into real estate, all they do is house. Some are into real estate, all they do is hotels. Some are into real estate, all they do is apartments. A cinema. All they do, event center. Some, all they do is cemetery. Oh, cemetery, powerful business. One of the most powerful real estate because everybody will die. It's a regular market, everybody will die. Instead of arguing to say one plot, it's just a portion. 1 vote, 2 vote, 3 votes. They would multiply the money by 3. And you can, on one plot, do you know how much will come out of it? That's another powerful real estate that many people have not understood. Cemetery. Very powerful. Do you know how much people made in 30 December from short let alone? Do you know how much came in? So, real estate, so there are dimensions. Hostels. Money to be made. So, if you want to really come into a realm where you enter into what we call stressless triumph, where the money will just continue to flow, then you need to understand appreciation and then cash flow production. State, your focus should be those 2 things. Have real estate assets and real estate cash flow. Assets and cash flow. For many decades, people did not understand that McDonald's was a real estate company. They thought they were selling burger. And then McDonald's came out there and said, sorry, no, we are not selling burger. We are into real estate business. You see, every outlet we own is our own. The burger is to keep the business valuable. The modern day Nigerian bank, the new generation bank, took that formula. In case many of you don't know, I can tell you for free, many of the Nigerian banks don't have any money. All those, they are declaring profits. Is that real estate they put in the book? Oh? Many of them borrow money from each other to put in the accounts when it's time to do accounts. One bank will go to the bank, borrow me 10 billion. That will collect them and put in. They will do their own account, return to the other one. Is it they don't have money? Oh? You try to go to a bank one day to go and collect big money. They will tell you to wait. They are waiting for people to make deposits. to quickly count it to give to you. So don't deceive yourself. It's those buildings they are buying everywhere. That's the real money. So what do you have? So if you are sitting out here today, you have come here. To change the game is to change your decision. Is to change the strategy from waiting to do it alone, waiting to gather money, to begin to maximize every opportunity that you have. So it's all about. So there is no a man. I was in Abuja, Port Harcourt. Came back yesterday. A man said, "I bought a property 20 years ago. I built it 20 years ago." He said the rent that I've been collecting, he said about 50% of the rent goes on maintaining the property and doing things. He said, but now I have an offer, a very massive, juicy offer to sell the property. Should I sell? So I told him, sell and move to the city. Because in the last 20 years, you now know that the thing is very good. But sell, since you are using, sell and carry the money to go and now invest in real estate in a place where you won't need to spend 50% of what you are collecting. Hello? Why? Because sometimes as you grow, you learn. I bought the property in South Africa during COVID. And the 2020, I think we bought it around August, September 2020. Are you ready for this? Every month, the rent from that property is 7,500 rands. But every month, the bill is 5,000. So I knew what he was talking about. So, me too, what am I going to do? I want to sell. Because if I had bought the property in another place, in Rwanda, a property was offered for, was it $40,000? $40,000, and we're to be getting $800 every month. 5-year guaranteed rent. Between the two, which one is better? So, when we are talking of real estate, number one is assets. I need to start buying real estate so that I can own a lot of us, because no matter what, a city today was a village yesterday. A village today will be a city tomorrow. You don't wait to buy land, you buy land and wait. We have branches all over the world, but our headquarters church is in Indimo. A plot of land, we bought a plot of land there for 70,000 naira. Today, a plot of land in that place is 40 million. We are still discussing and negotiating. For this week, we are closing a deal now to buy 2 plots at 80 million in the same street where we bought for 70,000. Imagine that, and our church now is sitting on about 4 billion because we have 16 plots, and then we have built on it massive 2,500 seater hall. We have 2 office complex now. So, but guess what? Imagine now that when we're buying at 70,000, somebody decided to say, okay, let me buy 10 plots at 700 and fence it and left it there. Do you know how much you'll be cashing out now? About 7 years after we bought, I bought my own at 500,000 per plot. Today, 12 units is sitting on that land. So I am not telling you what I don't know. We have been doing this ownership. Right now in the US, we have 42 properties. 42. So every month, $51,000 is coming every month. Every month, $51,000. Every month. Why? Co-ownership. 10 people own one. 10 people own one. 10 people own one. 10 people own one. So you want to become wealthy through real estate? Don't let anybody tell you it's a bush. It's a bush. No. You don't wait to buy land. You buy land and wait. It may be a bush, but it will not remain a bush. Hello? Then cash flow. Cash flow. So when you are thinking cash flow, it will now tell you where to put your money. So that instead of doing South Africa, you do Rwanda. Do you understand? You now look at, okay, if I put it in, because many people don't know what we call percentage return on investment. There's return on investment, and then there's what? Percentage return on investment. So let's say, for instance, you build a house in your village because your name is Uchendu or Uchenna. So you build a house in your village for 100 million. And rent in your village is 250 per annum. 250K per annum. But you wanted to show that you're a big boy. 250K per annum. Now, if you carry that 100 million, even as at last year, that 100 million will give you 2 3-bedroom semi-detached in Lekki. Hello? Even if you have, so, because we still bought it last year, so it's not, after this one is actual figure. So, as at last year, Orchid Road, 3-bedroom, 50 million. Guess how much is rent? 5 million. So your 100 million that you spent in the village, that is giving you 250. If you put the 100 million in Lekki, you are getting 10 million. So 10% every year. Even if you don't increase rent, your 100 million will come back in 10 years. That's called percentage return on investment. So you are getting 10%. But guess what? The one in the village, 250K. So 100 million divided by 250K tells you how many years you use to recover the money. Your grandchildren will be the one to be here. Hello? Did you hear him say that Orange Apartments, the 2-bedroom, has gone from 20-something to for something now to over 100 million in how many years? 4 years. Hello? 4 years. So, you want to do real estate? You want to make money? Money, multiply money in real estate? Think assets and think cash flow. And as long as you cannot afford to do it, collaborate, because collaboration is the new competition. God bless you.